I start my six-figure consulting job in 1 week, but I'm having second thoughts. My name is Brian Aria. I'm a 23-year-old Nigerian management consultant in Houston, Texas. I've also been making content online for 3 years. And now I'm starting my full-time job, a dream I chased for years going into school. A dream I'm sure a lot of you might have had at some point. But recently I've been thinking a lot about if this is what I actually want for myself. You might also wonder if our job is going to be the end-all be-all. So today I'm going to take you through how I got here, what I realized, and what the future holds. But before I dive into my journey, I do want to point out that this video is entirely from my perspective, and I'm extremely grateful for everything I've received and experienced up until this point. So for context, last year I graduated school with a degree in finance. I don't know if you're also like this, but going into college, I didn't really know what I wanted to do in terms of getting a job. And I knew I liked business, but that was about it, so I ended up choosing accounting, only to realize later that I hated it completely. And so when I switched to finance, it felt like a light bulb went off. During the first half of college, I applied for a lot of internships. Eventually, I landed in a few different industries like investment banking and consulting, and ultimately decided to choose investment banking. And when I got into investment banking, I thought I made it, but there were some things that I overlooked. At the time, I remember I was so locked in on just getting a job, looking for internships, and when I got it, I never took the time to reflect on where I actually was. And I think a lot of us, especially on the younger side in society today, only look at the end reward when we do things, whether that's getting a fancy car, traveling, making money. It's easy to only focus on the end goal, but not really reflect on the current moment, the present that you're in. And if there's one thing I wish I did earlier in my career, it would have been to stop and ask myself, is this what I really want? Why do I actually want this? And if it isn't, does it align with my current principles and values? I'll get into that later in this video, but that's just some food for thought. Anyways, after I got my internships, I had a lot of free time. So I figured I'd get into some new hobbies, and that's when I found videography. I ended up buying my first camera, which led to shooting for different clubs at my school. And a few months after just practicing and trying to get better at editing, I decided to document a day in the life at my college. And from that point on, I just kept making videos, vlogging my life, documenting my friend's life, and I had so much fun in the process. I do want to mention that I was able to make these videos because I focused on my career growth first, which allowed me to be a lot more flexible when I wanted to pursue my passions. Thanks to that, I've traveled to places I could have never imagined, met incredible entrepreneurs, different creators, and just people doing incredibly cool things. I think the biggest lesson I learned during this period of my life was to just be open to things, learn as much as you can, and just try. A lot of people, myself included, at a certain point, just didn't try things. And the only way you'll actually know what you're good at and what you enjoy is if you actually try. So I just encourage you to just try things, because you never know where you'll end up. Anyways, we're at our next location, so let's go get something to drink. Okay, so we officially have 7 days till I start working my consulting job full time. I've done a lot of thinking, and I kind of want to just share my thoughts so far. So after I graduated college last year, I took an 8-month gap to travel, reflect, and figure out who I am when I'm not tied to anything. And to be honest, I just wanted to make a lot of videos during that time I wasn't in school. I was able to solo travel internationally for my first time. I went to Japan. I was able to travel to more states throughout the United States, go to my first VidCon, meet a bunch of amazing friends and creators, and even ran 2 half marathons, and I'm doing literally my first full marathon next week. And the biggest takeaway from that whole period of time was just understanding what do I actually like. And in this case, it was creating content and making videos. But in college, I had a lot of my attention divided, whether that was looking for internships, being busy with clubs, or just dealing with things in life. But during this period, I told myself I was gonna give it my all and just see what happened. So after I finished traveling for a while, I put my head down for a couple of months and just focused on creating art. And in due time, I was able to raise my Instagram account to numbers I had never imagined, and even had artists that I looked up to recognize and acknowledge my work. So with all this momentum finally building up, finally being able to pursue a potential dream I looked forward to in the past, I've been dealing with a lot of doubts about if I'm actually on the right path. I'll be working at one of the top international consulting firms in the world, which obviously means that it won't be necessarily flexible in terms of my availability. I've been afraid of losing myself to work, not having enough time for the people in my life, and even losing the energy for the things I love. It's an interesting problem because I really love business and I worked extremely hard to get to where I am today, but I also found this innate passion and talent for art, and I really love just making things on the internet. And I've been thinking a lot about the problem of having to juggle a high-hour job with also a passion that very much became a full-time job for me during the past few months. With that being said, I'm gonna do something that's extremely hard, may seem stupid, but most authentic to myself. I'm going to quit my job. Just kidding. We're not balling like that. But my main goal is to showcase what life is like working in consulting, being in my 20s, and also balancing life as an artist. A lot of people might say that pursuing your passions and working is unrealistic, but oftentimes the most successful paths are carved by those who dare to dream big and put in the work to make it a reality. I believe that your life doesn't have to be dictated by your job when there's always room to do more. That's how I got my job today. When people said that it would be impossible, I worked hard and was able to get a job at a consulting firm. Same with content. When people thought I was cringe, they thought I was wasting my time, I made it work. But I have a firm belief that I can make something truly unique on this platform. That's always been my goal, but it just took me this long to realize that. So expect more cool edits, more fun adventures, more documenting of my life, and stay along for the journey. And yes, I know it's probably gonna be a grind. I probably will burn out a couple of times, but I just wanna give it my all and prove to my younger self that anything is possible. Plus, I'm not alone. Over the past few years, I've had a lot of people support me, help me build, give me feedback. Shout out Diego filming this right now. And I feel like I've been able to truly grow as a person. So the people behind you are super important when you are tackling anything. So if you're someone in a similar boat, I know that you can do it as well. If you want to go above and beyond the expectations that someone has placed upon you, let me know down below in the comments and I'll keep you accountable as well. With that being said, I'm super grateful for you guys even taking the time to watch this video. With my videos, I've always just wanted to inspire people, to show them what life is like, to help them take action, help them find their thing. So let me know what type of videos you guys would also like to see from me in the future, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.